Hi guys, it is Monday, the following week. You guys haven't seen much of anything of the last video. I told you guys I had some news in it, and unfortunately I'm still unable to post it. You guys will get the point once it is posted. But we're back, and I'm just gonna, we got us a shop dog. So this is Hazel. She is a Pembroke Welsh Corgi, and she's mine. So she's the new shop, travel, all that shit dog. We're gonna be pulling Bertha apart 100% today. I'm gonna be finishing up the trailer. And then we're probably, oh yeah, I also didn't show you guys. I bought 2 of these. So get rid of that touchscreen. I got one for the Dakota and one for Bertha. I need to fire up the welder, let that run while I open the shop, since it did rain. But we're gonna get this whole truck cleaned out. We're gutting the back seats. I'm gonna set them somewhere safe. And I have a customer coming through. We're getting rid of this center console and all of this. We're gonna modify this to go to the side because we got a business console coming. All right guys, we got the whole backside cleaned out. We got, hey, get off of there, doggy. We got all this cleaned out. I got a couple more odds and ends to grab on the bottom there. We got all this cleaned out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull these up and out of the way so that I can get this. I might end up making these holes bigger eventually so that I can put a 12 in these. But I mean, in the meantime, the kickers, they do all right. But yeah, I wanna get these back seats out, and you guys can see that I've done the modification where you can put the whole back seat down. See these, you put these in upside down, and then you put a nut or a spacer underneath the backside, which I'll show you guys that. But I want to get all this cleaned out and then vacuum everything out and then work on building a platform to go from here to here off of this, because we're going to set the mattress right down on top of this. I want to have it as low. All right guys, so what I do back here, as you guys can see, just take, I like a lug nut personally, and then I'll put the bolt through that, and then it will space this back. Now I'm gonna keep the bolts and the seat belts all together. You can see right here. So I'm gonna leave all that together, and then once I pull this whole thing out, I'm gonna probably build a spacer plate back here. You can see I've already insulated back here. This I'm gonna reroute, probably gonna take it back behind this because that goes to the seat, and then all the way down through here. So like I said, that's gonna all go behind this piece here. I just was lazy when I did it initially. So for the most part in here, I'm just gonna put all the bolts back. That like that one, and that one need spacers. And then anything that's left over, I'll probably just put the 2 right here. And then that'll leave that one and that one with the seats. Just gotta find them because the seat belts are weird. Not this one. I think yeah, right there. So there's a bolt, but that goes with the seat belt and it kind of stays with it. So we'll leave that. And then over here, this one right here. So that'll put every bolt back except 2. So we'll leave the outers out and those can stay with the seats. Now I want to get this thing routed real quick. I'm going to unplug this from the here and then run this down underneath. All right, so it's been a minute. We got the laptop mount out. I got the center console out. I got all of the bottom pieces here out. I'm not sure 100% how that piece goes. I also want to look up in there and replace that piece because it's falling down, that little green light that's supposed to come down, and then we're probably gonna have to move this guy as well. I know it was a great spot. Unfortunately, it's gonna have to come out. There's gonna be a whole business console here. I'm gonna move the inverter, put that somewhere. All this pretty much is just 2 plugs and then 2 USBs. The USBs are kind of slow, so we also got these in yesterday. You guys see that? This one's live all the time. I can turn it on and off with the key off. This one you have to have power, so that's just how they are. And then Dodge, for some reason, does not use a switched power wire for the radio. So on my wife's truck and my own, even though the harness has the red wire, it goes to nothing. So I had to run the radio to this guy. So anytime I turn the key on, this will turn on. I don't know why It's like that on the Dodges. It was the same way on the Dakota. I wired everything up and the radio wouldn't turn on. Found out that's an empty plug. We got the seats and everything over here, all ready to go. I'm not getting rid of any of this stuff. I'm not getting rid of the back seats either, in case I ever want to switch ever again. We have the back seat over here, and then we have this full center console piece here. And then this, I've marked where I want to make my cut. So we're going to cut it in half right there and then make a slide for it. And I got to figure out what I have to do that with. I don't know if I have the proper size metal, because that's the tubing I made it out of. That's probably the same size tubing. So we'll see if we have any scrap steel to do that, and then that can go back in. And slowly working on it. I'd like to get some edge protectors, probably grind down some of those, make it a little bit nicer. But for the most part, this thing just, it works. It's sharp. So we gotta play around with that. Now it's basically time. We're gonna start figuring out my distances and whatnot. I'd like to have a nice flat platform right here, and then something in the middle to support. So it's probably gonna go all the way across. I have the seat kind of where I want it. And then basically the premise of doing this, I think, should be, I'm thinking about doing a 6-inch deep mattress instead of an 8 this time. I know the 8 was great, but I also don't want to be sitting up so high. I don't know if the 2 inches is really going to make that big of a difference, but this box already sits up high. I used to have it to where it was just a flat platform on the ground. This box lifts it up a little bit, so I think honestly we might just do the 6. And the 4 is definitely not thick enough, and then we're going to have the mattress back here with a plastic cover over it so the mattress never goes bad, because they have a 10-year warranty on them. And then we'll have the sheets and all that stuff over there, basically so the dog has somewhere to be. And then also it's kind of nice that I'll be able to sleep back here and not get rid of my back seats, because if I ever need them, I can just throw them back in. We did get this guy. I know it's a little tight right now, but we got that all back behind. Probably gonna fill that hole in, but there is installation. You guys can see we did that on Bertha a while back. And then at some point, I know I've said something about it, the window in the back, you guys can see I need to get this window pulled, because yeah, you can basically stick your fingers through there. So I don't like that. So we'll get that taken care of eventually. I'd like to swap the back window out. We're getting a parts truck here that has a power back window, so I'd like to swap that out. So I'm not fixing this yet until that comes in, but it definitely does leak a little bit. You can see somebody's done some custom work to it at one point. All right, so this is where we're at. I got to cut this down to a foot. So this whole section's got to come off. I cut that piece off. I did use the angle grinder. I'm not gonna cut that whole piece down with that. I'm just gonna go get my blades. I have wood blades at home, so that'll set this perfect. I don't think I'm gonna fill in this gap. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Don't really care. You're not gonna see it. I'm not a woodworker. I'm not good with wood. Let's just put it that way, unless it's my own. This I found, according to the internet and pictures, this might actually be able to stay where it's at. And then I'm just waiting. I got to go grab bulbs. I have them at home as well, so that we can have this little downlighting lit again. And then we'll throw this guy back where it goes. It just kind of makes it hard to access with that guy in the way. But yeah, that's all we need there. Getting there slowly. I want to have this whole interior done and buttoned up today, minus the center console that I'm waiting on. And then this plugs into the center console. You can see the little tabs there. All right, so this is the last thing I can pretty much get done here. Is we have that. I mean, it sucks that this takes up kind of half of it, but we do have a light now. So next thing, I got this thing mounted, cut. It's not sharp. Looks like I might have missed an edge there. That's kind of pissed me off a little bit, but I did get this over here. Same thing. I'm gonna bring the other one over here and try to like clean that out a little bit better, because I think I did miss an edge. Besides that, I couldn't find my blades, but I do think I might try to notch that. I don't know yet. because this is going to throw it off, but it might work out. But I need to go up to the trailer. We're going to go quick work on that. I got to do a couple of butt connectors. I'll show you something when we get up there. All right, we got the little helper out. So I just went through, this thing's been giving me intermittent brake problems, and I'm going to show you guys something here. And it's an easy fix. So I have all the wires down and out right now. So basically what the manufacturers do is they run this wire inside the axle. All right, hate it. Now this one, I found the short already, cut it out. You guys can see how much wire I can cut out because you save so much distance. I'm gonna zip tie these around and then heat shrink the butt connectors. But one of these wires was shorting on the inside of these axle tubes, and it gives you intermittent brake problems. So you just cut the wire, you pull it all the way out of the axle, zip tie it to the outside, and then voila, you have working brakes again. Now I didn't finish it on this one. I gotta go down and grab zip ties and a lighter so that I can do that. But that's pretty much where we're at. Now this thing should have working 100% brakes. Because I had them before, but it was intermittent. So this axle right here on this side was causing the short. And you're not gonna know that till you pull the wires out, but just a bad design. I understand why they did it, but when they're sitting inside the axle tube, that's just where it's at. Also, trailer's still for sale. I dropped the price, $7,000 takes it. But yeah, we're gonna get back down to the shop, finish up doing what I was doing. We've got the Honda up here. You ready to go back down to the shop? She is ready to go. So I know this video is all over the place, but that's just how my life seems to be right now. So I got this all tightened down. Now my logic here is when we do the collar, we slide it over. I thought about welding it down onto this bottom piece, but honestly, I think it works a lot better if we take the collar and we slide it over this while it's welded to the other piece, because then when I slide this out, this is going to be up against the top piece, which will help to keep it sturdy. So just my 2 cents. I think that's honestly the best way to do it, but that's where we're at. I just need to measure this tubing to get the inside diameter, or actually outside diameter, so that I can get the inside diameter of the one I need to buy. Just need to buy a little collar for it, and then we'll just, depending on how much gas I have left, we'll just weld it right around. So that way this thing can fall down on top of it. We got the bottom pieces all cleaned up down here, so where the drills were. And then I need to glue. Yeah, I need to throw some glue in there. Because, I mean, it's working because all of this, but I need to glue the other side as well. So one of the last things, we're gonna do the oil change real quick. So using Mobil Delvac, I told you guys I'd do the experiment to see if this stuff's good oil. Personally, I like Mobil 1 coming back from doing Hondas back in the day. So this is what I've been running. I've been running this probably for the last 30-ish thousand miles, 40-ish actually probably at this point. And then a little bit of Marble Mystery Oil, and engine's been running solid. So just wanted to give you guys an update on that. I still am running the Delvac over the T6 Rotella. I used to run it. It was really expensive, and you guys told me this was really good oil, so I've been running it. I think this oil change, I've done about 13,000 miles, so we're going to change it out, let you guys. Yeah, so I don't know if it is the aux tank leaking. I don't think it is. I think it's literally just from the rear main flinging up. But yeah, so I told you guys how I do my oil changes as well. This filter should just spin right off, and look at that, it does. Look at that. I can't stand people who put these things on dry. I don't pre-fill them, but I always lube up the surface of the O-ring. Look at that. Look how easy that came off. See that? Look at that. Let's see how that oil comes out. Doesn't look bad. It's black like usual. I'm gonna go throw this in my scrap tub with everything else. We'll put this new filter on. I'll mark the miles. We're at like 243,000 right now. And I think I did the last one around 230. So we definitely got some miles on this oil change. I'm gonna tell you guys now, I do not recommend 13,000 mile oil changes. 10,000 miles, unless you're idling the shit out of your trucks, do it a little bit less, but 10,000 mile oil changes is the sweet spot. So we'll get Get this cap off so I don't forget. And we'll throw this filter on. I'm gonna lube that filter, but we're gonna put her in dry, and then I'm gonna start it just to let you know, all the oil get to where it needs to get to. That way it's not a dry start next time. This thing fills up almost instantly, like, and there's still oil on the bearings and all that, so you do not need to pre-fill these. Again, I'm gonna say this every single time. Specifically says, do not pre-fill. Always put lube on the O-ring though. So you guys remember this rad? I just noticed, look at that. I put this rad in new. That's crazy. And it's like, it's not even coming from up there or whatnot. I wonder, is it the rad or is it, it's coming up from higher. Looks like we have a wee bit of a coolant leak. I gotta put that plug back in yet, but oh, looks like it might be the problem right there. Yeah, I think this cap's been leaking. Guess we'll get a new one. Hopefully that's all it is. I don't feel like doing a rad. Also, guys, you gotta be really careful with these fucking AC lines. Look at that. We're not hitting down there, but this fucker's just touching the intake. You guys remember when it blew out down there because it was rubbing on the charge pipe? So there's little things you gotta watch out for. But yeah, we need to get a new rad cap because that one's definitely leaking. Don't mean to interrupt this here, but like, she's a good dog. Like, I can take the leash and just let her off, and she doesn't wander. I had her up here earlier with her blanket and everything, and she disappeared for a second. I turn around, she's there at my feet. Like, she knows who her dad is. You wanna go potty? No? You wanna sleep? All right. I'll just let her there for a little bit. I'm gonna get the rest of this oil change done, but yeah, hopefully it's just a rad cap and that we don't need anything else. Hopefully the aux tank isn't actually leaking. I let it sit for a few days and was still able to get fuel out of the tank. Bertha has a full tank right now, so we might be all right. We're getting there. Let's fill the truck up. All right, so generally what I do is I grab a 2.5 gallon jug of these, and unfortunately they didn't have any this time. And then I throw about half of that in there. Now it says you can throw a whole one in there. You're supposed to replace up to 20% with it. But what I've been realizing lately is the oil's been reading a lot higher than what it is. So I put 2 in with the and started it, let the oil filter fill up, let it drain back down. I'm gonna check it tomorrow in the morning because it's reading low, but I'm gonna see where it's at tomorrow morning since I'm not really driving this thing. And then we'll go from there. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna close this out here. This was kind of to give you guys an update of what's going on. So here's what you guys can expect in the next little bit of this month before we go back out to Florida. First things first, I'm gonna go buy the paint. We're gonna do the back and the roof. And then the next step, I tried to bid on some doors, got in like my offer. They wanted 16, I wanted to pay 8. I didn't get it. And then the tailgate. I am 100%, I've been looking for tailgates. I found one for $550. Realistically, I want to spend $300 on a tailgate. 4th gen, anything from 2010 to 2018. That's what I'm looking for. So between those two things and then the doors, I'll worry about as they come in. Like, I'm not 100% worried about it. Realistically, the back doors aren't even bad. I don't think the back doors are bad at all, to be honest. Let's go look at this side. I'll let you guys tell me what you think. Yeah, realistically, I mean, that little spot right there, I don't even really think the back doors are bad. I just don't want to paint, you know what I mean? I like that that's painted. I don't like the half-ass paint job, but at the same time, it's like, if it gets me through, maybe I just try to find front doors and I paint the back ones. Who knows? But we definitely at least need fronts. The front doors are fucked. So, but this is where I'm going to leave it. This is the front seat as of right now. I'm going to go get a collar, some paint, and I'm pretty sure, oh, and the Sawzall blades, so I can cut those. And then we'll have the bed back here. And I have plenty of screws in stock, so I should be able to realistically make this mattress setup pretty easy. And then we have plenty of spacers as well. Like these guys here, we can cut them down or add them up. I'm gonna try to keep a little bit of room in here to utilize for some other shit, but I think realistically, let's grab our tape measure and we'll do some measuring. So if we do the 8, that's gonna be way too high. I think personally the 6, and then this takes up for it, and that'll put me exactly where I wanna be. So we'll be right there. So we'll be sitting right about here, which honestly will be perfect. I can still get to these to adjust the amplifier if I need to. And for those wondering, I do have a bass knob, but I think that should work out. So that's pretty much all I got to do. Let me know, give me some suggestions, guys, on what you'd want to see. This is going to get mounted somewhere nicely and like an actual permanent location this time, rather than being able to just like finagle it and move it up and down. And then the shifter boy here, which I have removed, that we're gonna either, I don't know if I'm gonna make it really tall so that you can see it through, or if I'm gonna make it come out the side. Realistically, I think coming out the side is the best bet, but that's pretty much where we're at. Hit me up, guys, if you have any doors or tailgate or something, because I need to at least get one thing done while I'm back now. I also did try the LEDs in the whole thing, and unfortunately the holes are too big for the LEDs, so I guess we're probably, I don't know if we're gonna put lights under here. I might just drill out my own holes. We'll see. We will see. But hope you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you guys have appreciate this little update. Basically what I'm gonna say at the end of the video is we are open and available all week. We got this one in, we got a turbo coming in, and if you guys need anything, feel free. Shop number and description, all that shit is down in the description. So if you want to give me a call, we are here, open and available all week, and I'm going to try to be in all next week as well. So for the next 2 weeks, we are working in the shop. If you guys need anything, shop labor rates are $95 an hour. That's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed. See ya.